I will say this, Sydney Sweeney is on a roll.
Big time.
She is on a roll, now set to be in the new version of Barbarella. I don't know if you ever knew about that movie from 1968, telling the story of a space traveler on a mission to find scientist Durand, who created a weapon with the potential to destroy humanity. The original one starred Jane Fonda. Guess what now? Sydney Sweeney will star.
That was one of the original shows you could find on cable where you got nudies.
I do remember that.
Yeah, Jane was nude and you only had to watch the first few minutes.
Well, here's another one. She's going to also portray, we're talking about Sydney Sweeney, boxer Christy Martin in a biopic.
Yes.
It recalls the rise to fame in the 90s, quote, as a young gay woman in a small town of Virginia where she used boxing as a vehicle to express herself and her rage. The producers describe Christy as a female Rocky. She's the only female boxer to be on a Sports Illustrated cover. That's shocking.
You've met her.
I met Christy Martin?
Yeah, she's been in the studio with us.
I do not remember that.
Late 90s, she came in. That was the one person Jimmy didn't challenge because he'd like to challenge every female athlete saying he's better, that men are better. He never challenged her. She would have kicked his little ass.
Well, she was the first woman to sign with Don King, and then she married her coach, Jim Martin.
Who beat her.
And then, of course, is now behind bars, attempting to kill her in 2010.
That doc, I don't know what it's called, but seek out that doc if you want a good true crime, just whack story. And thankfully she's good now, but she got out of all that craziness. It's a couple of parter docuseries.
Good for Sydney Sweeney.
I wonder if she's going to do that. She's going to do that nudity at the beginning of Barbarella. That's the classic scene, and she has no problem putting her business out.
She doesn't have a problem with that.
Count me in.
This is a crazy story. Do you know that Jeff Daniels was told by his agents not to do Dumb and Dumber? But, of course, he went on to do it with Jim Carrey, of course. Because he was in all these serious movies like Terms of Endearment. He was also in Speed. So I guess going into filming, he had to go all in, including the infamous scene where he has explosive diarrhea. Did you hear this story?
No, he did that for real?
Yeah, it was on a broken toilet. Jeff says doing that scene made him nervous because he thought it could potentially end his career. He says, quote, Jim, who is fearless, told me, it's going to be great. You've just got to go in all the way with it. Well, that was a couple of hours of porcelain gymnastics. And that close-up on my red face, I had been doing it so long, I almost passed out. I did my job, beyond my job. That scene will probably outlive us. It will be funny 40 years from now.
Well, think about it. Poo humor is the easiest of any.
Poo humor. Exactly.
Poo humor. And so he's right. I mean, Jim Carrey's like, who cares? Oh, I could just see his face. But yeah, to go in, have you seen A Man in Full yet?
No, I haven't seen that yet, no.
I think his accent is so over the top, it's almost impossible to watch. I bailed 3 episodes in. I couldn't take it anymore. And it's about and in Atlanta, the story.
Yeah. I was actually going to watch it, so.
The famous book, late 90s, I mean, that whole thing is incredibly fascinating to me. But his performance, and I saw him in an interview say that he chose to go that, extreme and over the top. So it was definitely his choice. I think it was a bad choice.
Yeah, he's still got Jim Carrey in his ear.
I guess.
The famous 2-story brick house from the classic 1990 movie Home Alone is currently on the market in Winnetka, Illinois. $5.25 million. Now, Barnes, this is like a 9,000 square foot home, right? With 14 rooms. The current owners bought the house in 2012. Guess how much they paid for it then?
$1 million?
Yeah, $1.59 million.
Was it $1 million?
1.59. Now it's going, yeah, that's pretty good. 5.25 million. Would you buy that?
I don't know if it has that much pop culture, to it that I need to have the house.
Yeah, maybe like 10 years ago. I don't know.
I just don't even know why people are fascinated with something that, I'd like to go to it.
So that you could say, hey, I have the house that.
Right, but is that worth $5 million? I don't know.
Crazy story, Darius Rucker in his new memoir revealing how Woody Harrelson saved him in Hawaii. He went with a friend to Woody Harrelson's house in the late 90s. And what was really funny is that at Woody's, if you want to go swimming, you don't simply slip on your trunks and dive into a pool. Way more complicated than that. We began our swim by climbing down a jagged cliff, very slowly, carefully, inch by inch. And then there was a treacherous 25-minute descent. But Darius, who says, I'm a pretty decent swimmer, got pulled under by a rip current. Here he is talking about it on the Today Show.
Well, were you telling me before we went on the segment that he was seeing like illusions of his mother?
Yes. Seeing his mother, he thought, this is it. I mean, he was literally having flashbacks, and he's thinking, this is it. I'm going to die.
But how much weed had he smoked?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit, maybe.
Those rip currents are brutal.
Well, so is the weed in Hawaii.
He was drifting off, and he remembers not seeing his friends anymore.
Yeah. That's just a wild story.
And one story stands out when you say that Woody Harrelson saved your life.
Yes.
What happened?
Woody's my brother. Like, Woody and I were really, really close. And I went to visit him in Hawaii, and we went swimming. And I'll never forget this. He told me what to do, and I was fine. I'm a good swimmer. But then I dove in the water, and I opened my eyes, and all I saw was no bottom, fish. All I saw was a bunch of fish, and I panicked. And I got caught up in this current that was just killing me. And he came back, and we were trying to get out. It was probably a good 40 minutes trying to get out. And then finally, I looked at him, and this is so vivid to me. I looked at him, and I said, man, we both don't have to die out here today.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, you got to let me go. And just like Woody from Cheers, he looked at me and said, not on my watch.
Wow.
That was from the Today Show.
Funny, we're just now hearing about that. I wonder if it's like, I'm going to save that for my memoir in 10 years or whatever. I don't know.
How does a story like that not get out?
Oh, come on.
Those two guys, yeah.
Interesting, Renee Zellweger spotted filming for Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy in London. Cannot believe she's bringing back Bridget Jones. Now, will it be a thin Bridget Jones or an overweight Bridget Jones? I don't know, but they got a glimpse of her, and they're like, literally, this is going to be cool, co-starring Leo Woodall. It's back. It's going to arrive in theaters and on Peacock Valentine's Day 2025.
I saw the pictures, and she's wearing a Texas Longhorns hat.
Oh, hello.
She and I went to Texas at the same time.
I like Renee Zellweger.
I did not know her, but my friend made out with her.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's how he claims. And so I hope
in college?
Yes, I hope we can sometime get her on because I really want to burn his ass and ask her.
Oh, let's get her on for Bridget Jones.
Yeah, do you remember this guy and did you make out with him? Because if she says no, I'm hunting him down.
That's your celebrity sleaze.